And it looks like we have started the... What is that called? The chat bans for this round of 4 game. This is the semifinals of the DominateDominion.com League of Legends Dominion Tournament number 69. And we're going to see Xin Zhao, Kassadin, and Master Yi. We do 10 bans in the format that we use here. 4 at the pregame lobby, and then 6 at the champion select screen. So Xin Zhao, Kassadin, Master Yi, Lulu, all being banned. We'll talk about those very, very briefly. Xin Zhao is auto-attack someone, press all of your buttons one time, and they die, usually. Xin Zhao is very good at killing people very, very quickly. He brings some buffs and debuffs out as well. Really useful character to have on your team. The airborne is very, very nice, and the knockback is also good. Kassadin, great chase and escape, long duration silence, good slow. Master Yi. Master Yi's been a nightmare recently. We haven't quite figured out what to do with Master Yi yet. He does a lot of damage these days, he's really good, but not fully figured out at the moment. And Lulu. Lulu's an excellent support. Lulu does take some practice to play. Not everyone can play a Lulu, so you don't necessarily need to ban her every game. You should only ban her when you know that there's someone capable of playing it, or leave Lulu unbanned and force them to pick Lulu, and then pick something to counter her and punish them from taking it. Man, I love that ban and pick meta. It's pretty great. So we'll see who they decide to ban out for their next 6 champions. Also, after this game, for you live viewers of the broadcast, there are going to be additional games streamed. Dominate Dominion's owner, the Feedski, is going to stream for a few hours after this, play some Dominion games with you viewers, see maybe if you guys can get in on that. So go ahead and watch the stream afterward. There's a lot more stuff going on. Fizz and Wukong being banned. Fizz, a lot of magic damage. Brings an AoE to the table. Brings a couple AoEs to the table. One of them is an AoE airborne. It's great. Healing reduction. It's so nice. Wukong, armor reduction. Very powerful. AoE airborne. It's also good. And we're seeing LeBlanc banned. LeBlanc. I used to be really bad at LeBlanc. But then I read a guide that was written by Generic, and I got my first ever win with LeBlanc. It was good. LeBlanc brings a pair of snares to the table. She also has silences. Distortion. Distortion. You know, you can play some mind games with that. But overall, LeBlanc is a pretty useful character for her burst and for her crowd control. LeBlanc's crowd control, highly underrated. Kha'Zix being banned as well. Kha'Zix, because of Evolved Leap, can jump over walls that other characters cannot in this game mode. Also, he does enough damage that he either A, kills someone outright, or B, forces them out of the fight entirely. Why don't they ban Kassadin?
They banned Kassadin.
XX Killer Croc XX. They did ban Kassadin. We do 10 bans in this format. There are 4 champions banned at the lobby before we go to the champ select screen. So what you're seeing here is just 6 of them, but there's 4 more on top of that. Those additional 4 were Xin Zhao, Kassadin, Master Yi, and Lulu.
Summoner blockers.
Yep, I got them. There's a little bit of lag between when I click them and they actually appear on the thing. They may have just target brand. They might have just target brand and generic out of the game. It is possible. So we're seeing Brand banned as well. Brand has a lot of AoE damage. He forces positioning on the enemy team because of his just potential for killing everyone on the team between Pillar, between Conflag, between Pyroclasm. A lot of AoE damage there. And we're seeing Zyra banned as well. Zyra, a lot of AoE damage, a lot of crowd control from that champion. And Nidalee.
Nidalee's pretty strong. I think Commander Peoples is a really good Nidalee too. I'm pretty sure.
How do they summon or block? Asks a leader. Well, what we do is we make little tiny pictures. Here, I'll show you. Maybe this will answer your question a little bit better. That's how I do it. If you look at the screen right now, I just have little pictures that I turn on and off, and I put them over the top of the client, like that. That way it hides it so that the players can't tab over, because a lot of the players are probably hanging out in the chat right now. They like to talk to us during the champ select screen, and sometimes they'll explain picks and things like that, or they'll make fun of me, the caster, because they do that sometimes. I'm so sad occasionally, but they're real cool dudes.
It'll be okay.
Thank you. And that way they can't snipe and see what spells the enemy team is picking. So it's really useful for that. And if you want to see all of the blockers ever, by the way, in case we need maximum blocking, I can do that too. That's also a thing that can happen.
I like how when you do that, it actually shows the summoner spells behind it.
That's the best part about it. Talking about the picks a little bit more now, since we are off that subject. Nidalee. Nidalee has extremely good poke in this game mode. You have to go through that poke to get to her in order to kill her. Also, she heals her allies, and she can heal her allies, and that gives sustain to her team. A lot of good things coming out from Nidalee, and her melee damage. Do not neglect her melee damage. Oh man, it will wreck you. Over the other side, we're seeing Ahri and Jarvan. Jarvan brings an AoE airborne to the table. He can box people in with Cataclysm. It's nice, brings a slow as well. And we are seeing Ahri multiple target damage with Orb of Deception. Very good for zoning and forcing positioning. Has a taunt as well. Ahri's a good champion. Teemo gives vision on the map because of Noxious Traps. The blind is nice as well. He plus does a lot of magic damage, and he's a fast character. Maokai brings a lot of CC to the table. Lots of durability because of Vengeful Maelstrom. Airborne. His poke is great. Maokai is an excellent champion. We're seeing Caitlyn as well. Caitlyn has some traps that also give vision if people step on them. Very long range damage from Caitlyn. Between her Piltover Peacemaker...
Yes.
I got that? Did I do this? Yes! Between Piltover Peacemaker and Ace in the Hole, she can interrupt captures from a very, very long distance away, which is really useful. And we're seeing Vi as well, Caitlyn's Piltover partner, I guess. And Vi has an armor reduction, which works really, really well with any AD champion that you have. Plus Assault and Battery for a little bit of crowd control is nice. And I just want to point out that on the left team, they have the top 5 ways to get vision, potentially, in Dominion. Like, if you look at vision in Dominion, I made a little picture that represents, these are the 5 most common ways to get vision in this game mode. Clueless's team, the team on the left, has 2 of them in their picks already. They're probably going to build the 2 items, and they might take Clairvoyance on top of that, who knows. So out of the most common ways to get vision, they're stocking up. So they're going to be able to see exactly what's going on throughout the game. Over on the other side, we are seeing Nocturne. Nocturne's a pretty solid character. He has a crowd control. It's on a little bit of a delay, though, so sometimes it is breakable, but he has global map presence because of Paranoia, which is very powerful. He also tends to counter vision a little bit, just a little bit. We have seen a couple vision denials in competitive play before, which is always really neat to see. And Urgot as well. Urgot is a very durable champion that can go bottom lane or top lane, because he's a little bit harder to kill than other ranged AD characters. In the bottom lane, he's very resistant to poke because of Terror Capacitor. His range is good. There's a lot of good things about him. And Blitz is just fine, to address the person in the chat asking a question there. Blitz is pretty solid. There's just not a lot of people that play him. He tends to be a little bit squishy, though, unfortunately. And that's the thing that lends to him not being used as often. But his crowd control and disruption are great. He's a little bit glassy. And guys... there is a Vigor. People are asking me to explain that, and I will be very, very happy to explain Vigor to you. I think that he is the best character in Dominion for delaying on a point. If you play more of a support-style Vigor, you can delay on a point for an outstanding amount of time, because Event Horizon lingers on the battlefield for so freaking long. It's a long-duration stun on top of that. Dark Matter takes time to land, so it forces positioning, or they get hit by it. So that's 2 ways already that you're buying a lot of time. He will blow up Brand with... what is that called? He will blow up Brand with Primordial Burst. And, well, he has Baleful Strike for a little bit of poke, too. Yeah, but he will blow up characters like Brand.
Yeah.
That's something that'll happen. If there's a powerful AP that gets used in competition, like Nidalee on the other side... and guess what? They're going to get liquefied by that Primordial Burst. But more importantly...
I really like Vigor against Nidalee because he can trap her inside of the sun. And it's really, really difficult to knock down Nidalee because she can pounce out of basically anything. Like, the Cataclysm, not actually going to keep Nidalee inside because she can just pounce over the wall. But the Event Horizon, that's actually going to keep Nidalee inside of it. So I like the Vigor against Nidalee a lot.
Yes, ma'am, Kablam in the chat. Stop talking about the AP counterpick. No. The first thing I addressed was Event Horizon, man. Come on, this is the Twitch chat. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it later. I can teach you how to play Vigor. Yes, ma'am. Kablam. Event Horizon. It lingers for so long, and here's the best thing about it. It enables someone who can't get into a fight very easily. It buys them a ton of time to get there. And you're not going to move out of it. You're going to stuck in it. You're just going to be walking around. Any ranged character you have just takes free pot shots at you. So this means that Vigor throws down that Event Horizon. 1, the stun's really long. 2, it zones really hard. It shuts off an entire approach to the windmill, from the top or from the bottom of the windmill. It doesn't quite shut down an entire lane. And if he hangs out behind the windmill point, then he can drop Dark Matters on there as well, and just delay for a while. You build a little bit tanky with a lot of CDR and mana, and Vigor is the best support. He's amazing. There's personal score and team points, says Alakwane. We don't care about those, because they don't matter. The points don't have anything to do with anything in the game. There's no bonuses or penalties to get them. The score doesn't mean anything. It's completely made up and arbitrary. The point system is just not very good.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah. Come on, screen transition. Darn it. There we go. Come here, screen. Screen, please. There we go. Yes, Dominion, where anything goes and the points don't matter. Okay, at the loading screen, this is going to be the round of 4 game. Whoever wins this game is going to go on to the finals. This game is going to be the team Clueless versus the team Sofanda Cox. Clueless's team...
The team names will be updated on the overlay.
Yes, they will be in just a second here. The first team, Clueless's team, is going to be Commander Peoples playing as Nidalee, Mad Supportal playing as Teemo, Half-Hard playing as Maokai, Sauron playing as Caitlyn, and BB Pop playing as Vi. I am one half of your commentators. I am Gandair, and co-commentating with me is...
I am RheingoldRiver, and the other half of your players is the red team is going to be Sofanda Cox. It is generic on Ari, Clever Advisor playing Nocturne, SNC. This game on Jarvan, Northpaw playing Veigar, the pick we have all been looking forward to seeing, and Nerdoc rounding out their composition on Urgot. That sort of rhymes. That's pretty cool.
I agree. There we go. The team names have been updated. Up at the top of the screen there. And we're very curious to see where Sauron goes, because Sauron knows how to play bottom lane, knows how to play top lane. So we can see him in either place.
This is the second game in a row we've seen an 80 carry pick. Last game it was Corki, this game Caitlyn. It's something that I feel like I don't see that often when casting this tournament. I guess how frequent is it to see lots of 80 carry picks? Is that something that's changing?
Some top level players, some top level teams will use them. It's just, you have to be able to protect them. Like, it really requires a little bit more awareness from your team than playing more durable champions are. And there's a lot of times where an AD carry just is sitting around waiting for someone else to show up, because they do need someone to body block or someone else to zone or force positioning in order for them to be effective at all. Longer range characters or safer characters like Caitlyn and Ezreal can get a little bit closer to the action, because they have, Caitlyn has a soft escape mechanic, and Ezreal can just disappear from the face of the planet because of Arcane Shift. And, oh man, gravity, we don't believe in it. We don't believe in gravity. I believe in Harvey Dent. Oh man, the traps, look at them, they're all the way out there. That's the longest range I've ever seen of anything. That's kind of scary. Both teams heading off towards the top part of the map. Someone asking, how do you damage Nexus health? Well, if you kill an enemy champion, it does 2 damage to the enemy's Nexus health. Unless they are less than 100 points on their health remaining, then it doesn't do anything. The major way of draining Nexus health from the enemy is by having more control points owned than them. Whenever you have more control points owned than your opponent, their Nexus health slowly ticks down.
So Spears coming across from Commando. People said Charm lands onto Teemo. That's going to be a lot of damage as Horizon comes across in the first. Oh my god, that damage from the Baleful Strike from Veigar. Just chunking Teemo there. And gets the blind out, heading backwards very well. Nocturne actually the first one to fall. There's the fear. BB Pop is exhausted. He's going to go down. SMC going to fall also. And we have a pause timer almost immediately. Windmill fight so far going very, very well for Clueless.
Yeah, well, when you get hit by Veigar that hard, sometimes you just have to stop and think about what happened. Just a little bit. It does get a little scary. You're like, wait, is that real? You can't be completely sure. But really, when you get 12 people together in the same place, it's very common for at least one person to have a little bit of a connection issue. It seems like Nocturne has disconnected. We'll be bringing him back in just a moment. Guys, if anyone has any questions to chat, feel free to ask. Moloko Dude loves answering questions. It's his favorite thing. And I will answer some questions too, if I'm not too busy casting to be able to do it. There's not a lot to talk about at this pause, unfortunately. I wish I had something cooler to say, but it's very, very early on in the game. Starting items have just come out. Maokai did no boots into Catalyst opening. That's something that we see occasionally, and that's just a way of playing Maokai. Has that extra mana up front, gives him that extra durability in the initial fight, and he's kind of a slow character anyway, so it's okay for him to take a little bit of time to get there, because he can stay installed on the point longer. Sauron went for a Grez's first, which is also something that we see pretty often. You get that click effect vision right away. It also gives you armor and some sustain with lifesteal as well. And Nocturne also went for Grez's first, no boots. Boots are becoming a thing that, well, we're just not needing at the very first engagement sometimes, but they're useful later on in the game because of how important mobility is. Someone in the chat asking, tell us about the volunteers that I'm looking for the Day of Dominion. September 26th is going to be Dominion's birthday. Dominion will turn 2 years old. I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream. If you want to be involved with that, I need to know what your summoner name is on North America and what times you are available. Pause has ended. We're going to go back to the windmill fight.
So Northpaw did get one final E down before he fell, but he did fall. Mad Supportal, no, you are going to go down. I think I'm going to call him Mad Supportal half the time and Mike the other half of the time. They are the same person. And the windmill fight is won by Clueless.
Middle of the map, Northpaw and SNC. Hanging out in the center of the map, revealed though by that Nidalee trap by the bushwhack. Shoutouts to the guy in chat. No one chats like Gaston. That name makes me so happy. And now that song is stuck in my head. I hope it is stuck in yours as well. Nordak pushing the creep wave up in the bottom lane. And move that closer towards the enemy side. Now Caitlyn's wave clear doesn't get too good until later on. Once she gets a few ranks in that Piltover Peacemaker.
Yeah. So Caitlyn is one of the AD carries that wave clears very well. I think Graves is probably the only carry that can actually outpush Caitlyn. Varus does okay. Urgot is able to push, but it costs him a lot of mana, and he really wants to be using those spells and cooldowns on the enemy champion. Get that E down and then drop his Acid Hunters. Spear across onto Nocturne there. Jarvan gets the knock up onto 2. There's the stun from Veigar. And he's going to get a lot of damage, but it's onto Maokai. Vengeful Maelstrom is doing so much for them right now. Clever Advisor getting chased out by Vi, and Vi's actually just going to turn back. Doesn't even care about the kill. Clever Advisor plotting, waiting to come back into the fight. But his teammates are dying left and right. Generic trying to run away to top. Pops his Foxfire, but gets blinded. And he's going to get knocked up. Double kill for Teemo. And Clueless holding on to the top point.
Rock still out across that middle point of the map. Nidalee, the traps down here, check them out. Caitlyn has some, and Nidalee has some as well. Teemo traps as well. There's going to be a lot of trap-based vision this game.
Yeah, absolutely. They have the saplings. Those only last for 30 seconds, I think. Last for...
And Clever Advisor running over a pair of Nidalee traps back-to-back, completely highlighting where he is and letting the enemy team respond to them. The vision control is going to be completely in favor of Clueless throughout this game.
Yeah, the only time that Sofanda is going to have the vision control actually is during the paranoia from Nocturne. And as soon as he dashes to gap close, that vision control is going to be gone. They are 3 versus 4 on the top point. Half-Hearted getting chunked almost immediately. Cataclysm onto Mike there. First kill is onto Nocturne actually. And the Vengeful Maelstrom ends as Maokai dies. There's a charm onto Vi. Caitlyn still is in the bot lane. There's the kill onto Ahri though. Mad Supportal trying to get away. One more auto attack from Veigar. Actually, the stun is enough, and Baleful Strike gets the shutdown onto Mike. And BB Pop not really going to be able to 1v2, but he's going to try anyway. The minion is not going to be enough to capture the point. There's the knock up from Jarvan, and he could 1v2 for just long enough for Maokai to get their Digifall in the end. And the windmill goes back the way of Sofanda. Half-Hearted actually now caught in the stun circle from Veigar. Can they catch down onto him? What is the cooldown charm? 4-3. I think Half-Hearted is going to be okay. No, Spirit Rush across. And the Q. And the Spear Shot. And the charm. My god, Sat Magic is an OP passive. But he does go down eventually.
The Vengeful Maelstrom keeping him alive for quite a while, but that true damage from the Orb of Deception is not concerned with such trivial things. And oh dear, People's going for Northpaw. Northpaw getting off of the point. It's a little bit more favorable if Veigar retreats up behind it so he can maintain his delay by using other abilities. And there is a Clairvoyance as well So they do have potentially all of the top 5 vision methods on their team, along with some of the places, 6 through 10.
And the bottom side, we do have a fight. Clever Advisor gonna fall. Nerdot got exhausted. Sauron trying to get out. He's gonna be just fine. 650 range on Caitlyn. Doesn't even care how much health she has. She cannot attack from so long. Ace in the hole comes across. A little bit more damage. BB Pop dueling. And the last hit goes to Sauron. 80 carry picking up the kill. Windmill has been neutralized. Clueless fighting 2v2 right now. SNC pretty low on health. But so are Pupils and Supportal. Those Nidalee Spears are going to start hurting for so much as the game goes on.
And Generic taking a lot of damage there, being forced away from the engagement. Half-Hard coming in from the back, but eventually most being put down a little bit of an awkward place, so he's not going to have it up in this fight. I'm not sure they're going to need it, however, with a full health Vi joining them now.
There's the paranoia down from Nocturne. Mad Supportal's gonna get feared. That is gonna proc here. He does go down, and Jarvan picked up the kill with a Dragon Strike there. Half-Heart is stuck inside both the Cataclysm and the stun from Veigar. Charm barely didn't get him to walk into the wall. It's 2 for 2 so far. Even between the teams, Clueless has about half health on the Nexus. They would like to finish capturing it. Is Spirit Rush available for Ahri? It is dropping down to like 5 HP there. When I clicked on her, she had 15, so it was definitely less than that. Commander Peoples gets the windmill. And once again, a 3-cap for Clueless.
North Paw running away from the top point. Clueless still in control of the windmill. It seems we're going to need a Windows utility to uninstall them from that point. Vi hang out at the top part of the map. In the lower half of it, there's a lot of traps and other things. They're going to inhibit enemy movement throughout. Supportal revealed by Ahri. Ahri able to put a little bit of damage in. Doesn't want to get kite through those traps. Unfortunately, SNC sees it because of the click reveal. And Veigar not going to walk over that trap from Nidalee. Does not want to suffer that armor MR reduction.
Yeah, there is the engage though. Finally, Nerdot gets completely melted. The event horizon from Veigar just not quite enough. There's a knock up from Jarvan onto Vey with the assault and battery. Commander Peoples throws the spear, does not connect, and once again a member of Sofanda gets out with almost no HP remaining. Oh no, Veigar, you revealed yourself, but you got the kill onto Teemo. There's so much damage from that QR combo.
Nocturne will be able to defend the drill moving in that direction, but Sofanda Cox's team has just not been able to get out and be active on the map. The map control from Clueless is so powerful this game, especially in the lower half of the map. They have not been able to get any bottom lanes going at all for the most part because of running over one trap or another. Saplings, Bushwhack, Yordle Snap Trap,
yeah.
Noxious Trap. I knew what all 4 of them were.
Noxious Trap, of course, is the mushroom from Teemo. Vi might be a little bit cut out here. There is the Event Horizon. Stun ends, Ignite, Cataclysm. You don't have your Q available anymore. Charm and the Chain CC. We've been talking all game about the traps from Clueless, but there is a lot of Chain CC potential from Sofanda with the Charm and the Veigar Stun there. And there's the Veigar Stun, but Maokai was actually untargetable, so Half-Heart going to be able to get through. Has his ultimate available, not for a long time actually.
And Sportal being chased away by Clever Advisor. Teemo being forced out of that fight. And there's the stun. Lands on Peoples. Uses the Dark Matter to zone them back. Picked off with the spear anyway.
The spears are powerful. Hextech Super and Phoenix Codex pretty much the only AP. Also has the Prospector's Ring, but as she starts to get more ability power, building into a Wooglets and maybe a BFT, it's just gonna be absolutely insane. Mad Supportal! My god, Veigar does a lot of damage too.
Oh, not quite able to clip Half-Heart with that Event Horizon. He really needed that to get away. Not going to be tagged by that Nidalee Spear. Fortunately for him, using it to zone once again to keep Commander Peoples away. Dodges another spear, dodges a sapling. North Paw is going to be defeated pretty soon here. But the question is, how long will he be able to keep these two busy?
How long indeed, just streaking back and forward, and there is the kill finally. Unfortunately, the rest of his team was not able to make anything happen across the map. generally the reason that you want to lead people on long chases like that is that the rest of your team can do something. Maybe they can capture the windmill, maybe they can, or at least neutralize the windmill. But there's the hyperkinetic position reversal onto Sauron. Paranoia comes across, and he is just going to melt. That is the problem with 80 carries. They are very, very, very squishy. BB Pop is a tank, but not tanky enough. It's also going to go down, and that could very well be the quest objective for Sofanda.
Vi has returned with the revive. We'll be there in just a moment. Has her assault and battery active as well. It looks like Clever Advisor wants to run a little bit of interference there, but the damage from Vi could be a little too much. There's the assault and battery in, as I mentioned. Twisted Advance landing on Nerdok as well, and him being taken down by the Vengeful Maelstrom being closed.
And Commander Peoples is in the top. He is trying to run away this time as opposed to Vigor, but Nidalee a little bit more adept at running away than a Vigor just because she has her pounce. And she's going to be able to weave through, actually coming back up behind Ari in the bot lane, and does not get the KS because Sauron got the KS first. Clever Advisor is here to back up Nerdok. I don't think that they can dive 2 versus 3 right now, but if they fight off tower, they should be just fine. No, Vi goes down the exhaust on the Sauron, steps on the trap. Spear comes across and just chunks. There's the ace in the hole. Is enough damage. Nerdok was just not quite in position to block that one. And he's going to heal up, but it's now 2 versus 1, and 2 versus 1 is much easier to dive than 3 versus 2. Pilt over Peacemaker. Nidalee does go down in the end. There's a decent creep wave here. Ari coming 1v2. Vigor in the top lane. It gets a not kill, double kill for the Mike. Half-Hearted is now alone to cap that. Nidalee will run their interference. Sauron picks up the kill on Ari, and Clueless about to maybe get a... No, I don't think the minions can do it.
I don't have enough cameras for this game with how much running around there has been with Nidalee and Vigor this game.
Yeah.
It's been very difficult to try and keep anything on the camera for too long without something happening elsewhere on the map. Slam dunk at the bottom from Assault and Battery. Clever Advisor is going to be taken down by the Pilt over Peacemaker from Sauron. Position Reverser. Northpaw coming down from the top, able to help with that Event Horizon. Cataclysm as well. BB Pop gets kicked out, taken down by Jarvan. And Sauron back with the revive on his Caitlyn. Peoples and Generic having a disagreement at the bottom point, aggressively trapped up.
The last auto attack is just enough. Didn't need to fountain dive for that. Commander Peoples with the kill with the second kill. Can he pick up the triple is the question. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a little bit too long, but the Boneyard remains neutral here. Commander Peoples stealing away that relic from Half-Hearted. It was a half-hearted attempt to get the relic, I suppose. Didn't flash for it, of course, does not have flash. Paranoia down onto Maokai. Probably wouldn't have survived even with the relic being available for him. Sauron kiting backwards against Urgot. Does a great job of dodging the Acid Hunter's ace in the hole comes across. He doesn't really care who he hits. Either one would have been a kill. He gets the kill onto Vigor. And Nidalee with the kill onto Urgot. That'll be the Boneyard finally going down. Getting the quest objective. And it looks like Generic will take the windmill in exchange, so it will still only be a 3 cap. But with that quest objective, that was completely worth it for Clueless.
They were able to pick that up, and they have such a amazing Nexus health lead that they can afford to make pushes out like that. Even if they are defeated, they have a lot of Nexus health to play with. And just running SNC, determined to hit every single noxious trap possible, acting as a minesweeper for his team, getting pegged by Commander Peoples' spear, having to dash through the other side, my camera not moving fast enough, team able to pick up the KB, and Northpaw looking to delay a little bit, but cannot quite fight that.
So Sauron has 2 Teemo Shrooms to help him out here. They do own the point, so those Teemo Shrooms are invisible. There's the E backwards. He is going to get feared, though, by Nocturne. And that's not going to be... He got the kill! My god, Caitlyn has a lot of damage when you have 2 seals and an Infinity Edge and a Gretz is on her. 1 for 1 so far. People's now coming down onto Nerdot. He's not dodges the EQ, but cannot dodge the Cataclysm. But only 7 points remain for Sofanda, and Clueless with a fantastic game. Just an amazing team composition, and they played it so well, are going to move on to the finals.
So we're going to see Clueless in the finals. The finals is a best of 3. And Clueless, they absolutely dominant in that game.
Yeah, their team composition was fantastic.
Sauron. Sauron, who played Caitlyn last game. See, the match ends 3 minutes because of the spectator delay, so the players will often come in to watch the last 3 minutes. And Sauron was so sad that I did not get Caitlyn's last stand on camera. I am sorry that I could not do that. We do not have enough cameras. If I had the hardware to do a picture-in-picture, I would do it every single tournament. I'm just throwing that out there. That is something I would do. Take a look at the post-game screen. Some items for you. But you guys want to see damage dealt champions, don't you? Bam! Nidalee out in front, 23k. Sauron behind, 21k. They're the top, rounding out the top 3 damage dealers. Urgot at 20k. And then, time spent dead. Let's see who the graveyard hero for this game is. The graveyard hero this game is Nocturne with 212. We're going to cut to a little bit of a break here while we get the finals game set up. It's going to be Clueless versus... It's a surprise. You'll have to keep watching to find out. Finals game's coming to you in just a few moments.